But as we're talking about repeated attacks on the Fed, White House trade advisor Peter Novarro is also calling on the Federal Reserve to cut rates even more, telling Fox News today, quote, "The Federal Reserve before the end of the year has to lower interest rates by at least another 75 basis points or 100 basis points to bring interest rates here in America in line with the rest of the world." Whether or not that may be true, whether or not that may be what he thinks,
right.
It's again a very clear to the basis point call for where the Fed should move.
Right, and of course he's not one of the people who's necessarily making this decision, but it is always interesting, I think, to hear what these different policymakers think it should be the actual target band. But we have to remember, the Fed is supposed to, its dual mandate is focused on the domestic economy. And right now it does look like the Fed has been responding a lot to what's happening abroad and what other countries are doing in their economies and whether those are slowing down. So that's something that just in a more, globally entwined world, we're probably going to see more of going forward.
And it's also interesting too, just because we talk about this so often, but it's easy to overlook, is the decoupling really of the stock market from the economy. Right now, both doing very well. If you look at it, apart from yesterday, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I do wonder how much of it does kind of get more attention, at least in our kind of timeline covering this, the stock market increasingly being watched by the Fed. And you do wonder if that could potentially cause some sort of bubble that will eventually hurt Main Street as well, people who aren't invested in the stock market, who haven't enjoyed the gains that some other people have. Just one thing that is also important to weigh there as well.